everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur TV show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. You can follow me on Instagram at Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur. You can also follow the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur fan page, and you can follow me on Twitter at DGoddess27. Okay, so this is another dose of your daily vitamins, so let's get into it. All right, so there's a teacher that's been charged with sexual assault. Former Langham Creek High School teacher arrested for sexual relationship with a student, according to records. So this happened in Houston, Texas. Sarah Noel Suggs, a former Langham Creek High School teacher, English teacher that is charged with sexual assault of a child under the age of 17. Now, according to the charging document, the incident occurred on December the 10th of 2021 inside a vehicle parked by the victim's residential street or on the victim's street. Now, on December 13th of 2021, 3 days after the incident, the student's parents met with administrators of Langham Creek to inform them of some disturbing information that they found out from their son's cell phone. Honey, these teachers are doing the most, and this is exactly why I tell you to send your kids to homeschool your kids. Now, the 15-year-old victim, a student at Langham Creek High School, had disturbing information which was provided by the victim's parents. The victim had text messages with someone identified as S. Suggs. After cross-referencing the messages, the teen's mother discovered that S. Suggs was Sarah Suggs, whom she knew as her son's English teacher at school. Now, the victim admitted to his mother that he had sexual contact with Suggs inside her vehicle on the night of December the 10th in a cul-de-sac down the street from his own house. The 15-year-old also told his mother that they kissed each other. He had hickeys on his neck from the teacher, and he received oral sex from her as well. These teachers are so disgusting, honey. They're out here doing all manner of things to your children. Pay attention. And they often get a slap on the wrist, as far as I'm concerned, especially when it's the females doing it to the male students. Now, the teen's mother had screenshots of explicit text from Suggs and a picture of her son that showed hickeys on both sides of his neck. Now, during an interview with CFISD Human Resources, the teen said things began on Remind 101 shortly after he transferred into Suggs' English class around November the 1st of 2021. Remind 101, that must be a class that the teacher, has, that he attends. Actually, yes, they say it's a way for teachers to communicate online with students and their parents. The victim stated that they exchanged cell phone numbers and began texting one another after hours. The messages then moved to social media, specifically Snapchat, where Suggs sent the victim explicit videos of herself. Photos and videos were sent and received between the two through Snapchat, according to records. Suggs did not allow the victim to save the images and said she could lose everything if the relationship was known. But she chose to risk it anyway. Please, Karen. Now, documents state that Suggs also shared photos of her husband and family with the victim and texted him as late as 1 a.m. on the weekends. In response to the incident, Cypress Fairbanks Independent School District released the following statement. They said, as soon as the campus became aware of the serious allegation of an improper relationship between Sarah Suggs, a former staff member, and a student, Ms. Suggs was immediately removed from campus, placed on administrative leave, and law enforcement conducted a full investigation. Ms. Suggs resigned on January the 10th of 2022. These actions are intolerable and not representative of the staff at Langham Creek High School or CFISD employee standards of conduct. So she clearly is an idiot, messing around with a student, first of all. Who does that? And then the next thing is she's sitting here sending videos and all types of things. I don't know how she didn't think she was going to get caught. Because, first of all, you're leaving behind a trail of evidence. What is wrong with it? And this woman is married and has children of her own. And what was the point of her sending pictures of her family, husband included, to the student? All so crazy and clearly nefarious, honey. But like I said, I'm not surprised because these things continue to fester. They absolutely do. So anyway, some college athletes spark outrage after posting a racist Snapchat laughing at former lynching site. See these little racist devils, honey. They think this stuff is a joke. They think it's a game. And then their parents want to sit up here, complain, and whine about someone trying to teach them CRT, critical race theory, when they're acting out the exact same practices and things that their ancestors acted out. So what is the big deal about teaching critical race theory? I mean, they're still doing the same exact thing. It's not like they're going to be learning anything new or anything that they, that's going to be detrimental to them, because they engage with these things anyway. Right? They are their ancestors. They absolutely do the same exact things, honey, just under calling it a different name or under the guise of something else. So college athletes spark outrage after posting racist Snapchat, laughing at former lynching site. Texas University is in an uproar over a racist video that includes multiple student athletes. Now, the University of Houston student newspaper, the Daily Cougar, first reported on the video. The person shooting the video from inside a moving vehicle focused on a large oak tree on a street in Columbus, Texas. It has no sound, but includes the caption, "This is the hanging tree where we used to hang people. The tree is the site where 2 black teens were lynched by a white mob in 1935. The Cougar reports that the video shows 2 members of the volleyball team laughing as they drive past the tree. A third member of the team was reportedly holding the camera. Now, the Daily Dot isn't reporting the names of the students accused of being in the video because it was unable to independently verify their identities and ages. Please, they know exactly who the students are. The video was reportedly first posted to Snapchat, then reposted as an anonymous Twitter account by an anonymous Twitter account over the weekend. They know exactly who these students are, honey. They could sit there and act like they don't, but I'm pretty sure they do. Let me see if this is still on Twitter. Yeah, here it is right here. I'm going to share my screen. A likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Thank you in advance. Complete idiots. I don't know how these little racist demons go to school and learn anything when they spend a majority of their time trying to dream up ways to, be disrespectful to black students. I don't really know how they have time to do their focus on their studies. These are also stupid. And the thing is, I've never met a racist person who had the least bit of sense. I've never met an intelligent racist person in my life. And I'm sure I never will. And neither will any of you, because racist people are the dumbest, most ignorant people on the planet, as far as I'm concerned. They have no common sense, and they never, under any circumstances, exercise critical thinking skills because they lack them. Anyway, also stupid. But let me continue. So now, next. Now, this is a video that I'm going to show you of a low-down dirty cop in Indianapolis who was called to the scene, the cops were, because there was a suspected burglary in progress. But when in fact they arrived, there was no burglary in progress. They then decided that one of the people there, a male suspect, they thought that he had a protection order against him, and so that he wasn't supposed to be at the residence. And so they proceeded to arrest him. And during the arrest, the man was refusing, I guess, to get into the police vehicle. So one of the officers took it upon himself to grab the man by the privates, grab him by his genitals and squeeze and twist. I don't know why he thought that was necessary. But, psychopaths, they often engage in acts of humiliation and inflicting pain on others, because that's often how they get their euphoric pleasure, from inflicting pain, and sometimes in cases receiving pain themselves. Just sick-minded, perverted individuals. But I'm quite sure the cop who did this, Officer Lewis, I'm quite sure that he was squeezing that man's privates because he thought that was that the pain of that, right, that the man was feeling and the humiliation, I'm sure he felt like that was giving him some deep-seated satisfaction and some type of euphoria. I'm pretty sure of it. Because who does that under any circumstance? Why was it necessary at all? And he did it in the presence of other officers who saw him. And they even thought that he was sick because one of them actually filed the report, and that's how all this came to a head. But anyway, let me get into it. I'm going to share my screen. So to say, IMPD officer facing termination for alleged use of force during an arrest, according to body cam footage that was released. So the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department officer is facing multiple charges and termination. Travis Lewis is charged with official misconduct and 2 counts of battery with bodily injury. They say, we're going to be transparent. We hold our officers to high standard, and when they step out of bounds, we're going to hold them accountable. That's what Chief Randall Taylor said. Now, on February the 10th of 2022, Lewis and another police officer responded to other officers, shall I say, responded to a report of a burglary in progress at the 8200 block of East 21st Street. Arriving officers determined that there was no burglary at the location, but that a protective order had been filed against one of the people there. That man was handcuffed by officers and placed under arrest. And so here's the thing. Prior to putting him in the car, another thing that Travis Lewis did was he slammed the man to the ground, to the asphalt, while his hands were cuffed behind his back. That's what he did. So I'm going to go ahead and show the video. Everyone, please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you in advance. On February the 10th of 2022, Officer Travis Lewis and other IMPD officers responded to a reported burglary in progress at 8200 East 21st Street. As a result of the investigation, Paul Johnson Jr. was placed under arrest for invasion of privacy. Mr. Johnson was handcuffed, and officers made multiple attempts to get Mr. Johnson into a police vehicle to transport him to the adult detention center. On March 28th of 2022, hold on, let me backtrack. On March 28th of 2022, the Marion County Prosecutor's Office filed charges against Officer Travis Lewis for battery with bodily injury and official misconduct. The following video depicts Officer Lewis's body-worn camera from the night of the incident, starting at 1:23 mark of the video, of the original video. According to the probable cause, at approximately 1:23:22 in the video, Mr. Johnson began screaming, but the BWC footage is too dark to discern what is taking place due to technical limitations of the BWC equipment at night and without much way of ambient or direct light. Okay, so let's just go to the footage.
Help!
Sending body worn down in 10 seconds.
No! God!
Sending body worn down in 5 seconds. Body worn down canceled.
Paul, put your legs in. Help! Help! Put your legs in. Put your legs in. Paul, put your legs in. Put your legs in.
Sending body worn down in 20 seconds. Body worn down canceled.
Put your legs in.
I
can't feel.
This is going to be rough transport. Can you see if we can have a wagon expedited, please?
No.
Vega 390 on this channel.
Paul, come with me.
Go ahead.
We're coming with you.
Can you step it up a little bit?
What?
Go to everything.
What's that?
Everything happened.
Fine, you know what? Here, put your feet in.
10th and Shadeland. I'm on my way.
Put your feet in. See? Put your feet in. Sit forward, and I'll take your cuffs off. Put your feet in. Lean forward, and so I can get to your hands. Huh? What do you mean, no? I got the key. Sit up so I can. Put your feet in. Sit up and come here. All right. Well, I'm not taking you out then.
Come on.
No.
Put your feet in the car. You gonna take it? No. Okay.
Oh, okay.
No.
You put me out 25th and Shabby Lane on traffic.
All right.
Okay, I'll go.
So now, instead of just going to jail for the misdemeanor, you're going to jail for level 4 felony, possession of a firearm,
I didn't have it.
resisting arrest times 4 because there's 4 officers,
Okay,
battery
I'm
an
sorry.
officer because you bit me.
Take it back.
No, you're going to fucking jail now.
Let me out.
SVF, battery of an officer, resisting arrest, and the misdemeanor.
What here?
All because you called the police on yourself.
No.
All you had to do is put your fucking feet in the car. You couldn't do it. Now
Why?
you're going to jail for times 4.
What happens if I do?
What happened if you do? It doesn't matter. You're going to jail no matter what. It doesn't matter. No, there is no unhooking you tonight. You are going to jail.
Why can't we just unhook at first? I'm just asking. Please. What can I do to make it up?
Put your feet in the car. You put your feet in the car, I'll take off 2 charges.
2?
2 out of the 4.
It's name 2.
Name 2? Which 2 do you want me to take off?
Then we'll get.
You got SVF, possession of a firearm. You admitted to that on camera.
No.
You got the protective order
What's
violation.
yes?
You already told me that you were holding her gun upstairs.
No.
Yeah. And you already told me you were SVF, which I did verify. All right, so you got the SVF possession, you got the
SVF?
misdemeanor violation probation order,
Okay.
and then you got the
Take
resisting,
away.
and you fucking bit me. So battery of a law enforcement officer, level 6 felony.
Okay, what else do I got?
Which 2 you want off?
I just want to walk away.
No. All right, I'm leaving all 4 on. You got 10, 9, 8,
Oh, what?
7. If you take 2 off and put your feet in, I'm gonna give you the count to 10. Put your feet
And
in,
you
otherwise
wanna
I'm
go
putting
home?
all 4 felonies on
Where
there.
you go? Downtown?
No, Southeast District. The
No
new jail.
handcuffs.
Okay, so that was just all so crazy. I mean, was that even necessary? And then this is how you know that he was clearly stacking charges on the man, because he sat there and said, if you put your feet in, I'll take 2 of the charges off. Which 2 do you want me to take off? Please stop it. When do the police ever give you the option of not only removing some of your charges, but allowing you to choose the ones that will be removed? That's because he was stacking those charges. And then when have you ever heard of them saying 4 counts of resisting arrest because there's 4 officers? So he was resisting arrest from all of them, and so they all separate charges, because I thought it would just be 1 count. So, but hey, what do I know? All so crazy. And so anyway, they go on to say that according to the Marion County Prosecutor's Office, the protective order against the suspect was showing as active and valid at the time of the incident. However, it should have been taken out of the system when the original case associated with the order was dismissed. Now, IMPD tells WRTV that the system is controlled by the courts, not by the police department. So basically saying it's the court's fault that it wasn't removed. The fact that he did not have an order of protection, a protective order against him at that time. Now, when the internal investigation is complete, they say, I'm sure it's going to have something to do with the system and what needs to be done to make sure those things don't happen again. Meanwhile, you can be harassed, brutalized, arrested, or even killed because of a mistake in their system. Pay attention. So Lewis has been suspended without pay pending a recommendation of termination to the IMPD's Civilian Police Merit Board. Lewis has been with the police department for 3 years and is currently assigned to the East District late shift. They say it never feels good to learn that one of our own has been charged with a crime. But I promised our community transparency, and that will continue to be the top priority for the department today and in the future, says Chief Taylor. IMPD says the internal investigation into this incident is not yet complete. Let's be clear. The majority of our officers do a great job, daily, day in and day out. But when one steps out of line, then they can expect for us to deal with it, says Taylor. Also crazy. Let me tell you something. When he went before the judge told him, go on down there and get booked, fingerprinted, and photographed just like anybody else, because you done broke the law. Okay, and that was the thing. And by the way, another officer is the one who reported on him, if I'm not mistaken. Let me get the pull up the original report, because I believe it was another officer who reported him. Thought he was doing the most. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Here it is. Yeah, so they go on to say that Officer Travis Lewis, age 32, is accused of 3 counts. The first is official misconduct, a level 6 felony. The second is battery resulting in bodily injury, which is a class A misdemeanor, and another account of battery resulting in bodily injury, which is also still class A misdemeanor. Now, authorities say that the body camera footage from multiple angles, they viewed it from multiple angles, and they got statements from fellow officers, and they suggest that he grabbed the genitals of a man later identified as Paul Johnson while trying to put Johnson into a squad car. Lewis and other officers were taking Johnson into custody with bad information. They thought a protective order was active against him. It turns out that it was not, and the information entered in the court database was in fact inaccurate. According to court documents, Lewis did knowingly touch Paul Johnson's genitals, resulting in bodily injury, that is pain. Lewis also is accused of knowingly touching Paul Johnson in a rude, insolent, or angry manner by throwing Johnson to the ground while his hands were cuffed behind his back. This too resulted in bodily injury, and that is a laceration and or pain. And so during Thursday's pretrial hearing, a judge read the charges and the potential penalties against Lewis. The court entered a preliminary plea of not guilty on Lewis's behalf. The judge said that the plea would become a formal plea of not guilty in 20 days unless the court heard otherwise from Lewis's attorney. Now, the defendant verified his date of birth and address under oath and was further notified of his constitutional rights. Lewis was ordered to have no contact with Johnson directly or indirectly. They said the judge told him, if you see Mr. Johnson walking down the street, it's your responsibility to go in a different direction. Now, the judge then sought to ensure the defendant was properly booked, processed, photographed, and fingerprinted by the local constabulary this afternoon. That's what the attorney confirmed. Now, Indianapolis Fox affiliate recently reported that Lewis was initially placed on administrative duty, but now stands suspended with no pay pending a recommendation for termination from the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department. The judge set a June 14th conference for attorneys only, and the next step in the case will be followed up then. They said, gentlemen, you have a good day, as the judge wrapped up the proceedings. So that's it, honey. He's been charged. He has been charged, and here's the paperwork right here. Let me share my screen. That's it right there, as you can see. And let me just say this. Some of these cops who act like thugs and just blatant criminals and who do these heinous things, they really are psychopaths. I don't care what anyone says. They're psychopaths. They have no compassion for other human beings, specifically Black human beings. They have no empathy nor sympathy, and they get some type of hedonistic pleasure and euphoria from inflicting pain on people. And this is the same thing, the same type of brutality that their ancestors, in fact, practiced during slavery. And they've carried that on through their DNA. And that's just the fact. At the end of the day, these things will continue to fester until they start getting some type of accountability. Merely putting him on a leave, that's one thing, but that's not enough. He should be arrested and he should be locked up. I mean, he should be convicted. Now, they have charged him. But we know how that goes. Often they charge these officers and they get off scot-free. They get a slap on the wrist. But he should have to do some time for this. as far as I'm concerned. If someone on the street went up and did that to someone, they would be serving time. And these officers need to start being held accountable, just like everyday ordinary citizens, because they engage in criminal activities just like everyday average citizens. Okay? That's what they absolutely do. It's also satanic. I mean, who thinks to grab someone by their privates and twist? And he continued doing this according to other officers. And they even thought that something was wrong with him, apparently, because they are the ones who reported it. Okay, so anyway, that man needs to sue him, honey. It's just all crazy. So anyway, with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. Everyone, please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen goes live. All right, and I will talk to you all again soon.